Hello, friends. Welcome to week one of the PDL. I want to kickstart right into the team builder here, and then I'm going to get into the replay. But I figured I'd start off by going over the enemy's team here. We've got Zamazenta, Gliscor, Hydreigon, Ogrepon, Terra Meloetta, Diancie, Bramblegast, Mantine, Muck, and Chandelure here. And I think that some of the biggest threats here that we're going to be looking at are definitely that Zamazenta. That's going to do a lot of pressure into my team. I've got a few resistances, a few counters, but nothing pure there because obviously my Drapion as a poison type is um, not able to fully resist that because it's dark type too, so I can't fully resist the body press. Alamomola is not really doing a whole lot back, and Avalug as well doesn't really have a whole lot of options. I don't have like something like Roar or something like Endeavor to fight back, and Aegislash can obviously get crunched out. So I gotta make sure that I figure out some creative solutions for getting around that Zamazenta here, and another big problem here is going to be this Gliscor. As a really good Pokemon into this team here is going to be the Vikavolt as well as Cinderace here, but Gliscor is going to be able to hardwall both of those, and it can create quite a defensive problem for me. So I gotta make sure I pay attention to something like that. Um, I predict Ogrepon here too. Ogrepon, if it's a banded Ogrepon, I'll have a hard time switching into that, especially because Vikavolt. I'm going to be, a little bit of a spoiler. I'm running defensive Vikavolt here, and it's going to help out with that Zamazenta play. But if I have to bring it for Ogrepon too, it's going to be really hard to like have to split ends. And then obviously we got Meloetta here. I believe Meloetta is probably going to be an AV set, take Gardevoir hits. I don't think that there's very many other things that can take on Mega Gardevoir Hyper Voice, so I think Meloetta is definitely coming in for that. I definitely predict a Mantine to try to Water Absorb, Whirlpool, Toxic Trap my Alamomola or my Chansey to stop it from naturally curing. So I'm going to have to come up with some natural counters to those. I also think that Chandelure could be quite a problem if it tries to stop my my Chansey in its tracks. Obviously, Seismic Toss isn't going to do a whole lot for that, so that's obviously going to cause a little bit of a prep scare, especially if it's like Scarf or if it's like Sub Calm Mind or something like that. Um, Besides that, I think I've got pretty decent counters for everything else. So getting into this builder here, oh, um, started off with my Terra Avalug here. I've got Barrier to help out with against some defense here. I've got Avalanche, which Avalanche hits a whole lot. Avalanche, Earthquake, Ice Ground is gonna cover everything. Rapid Spin here. It's really just to keep off those hazards from Gliscor, um, and just to allow my team to allow like the constant pivot in. Obviously I've got a really really bulky healing esque team here, so I want to be able to keep those hazards off of my side. I don't want to have to touch them. Heavy duty boots for that same purpose. The attack to keep Gliscor out, etc. Alamomola here is going to be a defensive set, really good against things like really good to like to switch in against Gliscor, really good against like things like Diancie maybe, really good against like Zamazenta here to like switch out. Um, I have the Toxic here to catch like things like Meloetta, things like Mantine, Baton Pass instead of Flip Turn because I can't Flip Turn out to catch that Mantine. This is ineffective against Zamazenta in a certain sense because I can't attack back, but I can create momentum with Rocky Helmet and Wish Protect, and I can be able to like and Baton Pass out into my teammates, etc. Alamomola is here basically as a pure support this week, running that pure defense, and Chansey is going to be the same way. Got max in defense, but make no mistake, Chansey's a Spadef wall here. Going to be taking basically any Spadef thing. I predict that Hydreigon to be running superpower for Chansey, but Chansey's going to be taking that, and I can counter back. I also have counter because I can take that Ogrepon. So if I ever get hit with an Ogrepon thing, I can just counter that back. Got a nice soft-boiled Seismic Toss to keep myself healthy and keep good damage rolling. Seismic Toss, obviously a pretty universal move. Teleport's going to be really strong. If I fight any type of Chandelure, I can just teleport out of there into a better Pokemon for it. And I can obviously teleport out so I don't get Whirlpool trapped by that by the Mantine, which I think is more likely. So I'm going to be watching out for that too. So between Baton Pass and Teleport, Mantine cannot trap either my defensive tanks here. It doesn't want to stay in against most other things, so should be good against that. Vikavolt here, obviously the Crutch, Roost, Defense, Discharge, Terra Blast, does not get 2-hit KO'd by a Stone Edge, and I can Iron Defense up in order to live that Zamazenta hit, and keep doing my thing. My thing is I cannot I can't Terra on the Zamazenta, otherwise it's a little bit of an issue. Um, and I ran like plenty of mocks. And the issue is that this Pokemon's really good against this team, except Gliscor, which you're going to see. I don't have a whole lot for Gliscor besides this Avalanche here. These two Pokemon don't have a whole lot for it with Gliscor's healing. And he obviously doesn't have a good move to hit Gliscor. But I have Terra Water here. So if Zamazenta goes down, I can use this Roost Up and take out the Gliscor. But I can't Terra before that point, so I can't get impatient. And then obviously I've got, Titania here with Hyper Voice, Substitute, Encore, Psyshock. Hyper Voice, Psyshock basically takes on everything. Um, he doesn't have a whole lot of good switch-ins for this. And obviously Hyper Voice is just going to blow a hole. And Psyshock is just going to cover things like Muck or anything else like that. So Gardevoir is going to be really strong here. And I can sub so that way I can catch out Zamazenta. I can Encore things into whatever to get myself a free sub. And this is why I think Meloetta is going to come Assault Vest. And then obviously I've got Banded Cinderace here to blow everything else up. I think that Banded Cinderace with its speed and its power is just capable of just doing a whole lot of damage. It's a great Ogerpon check. And overall, it just needed something to, lift my offensive damage. So, yeah, that's my team for this thing. We're going to, and I think we're just going to get right back into that game, all right? So I got it right here, pull it up. I see this team here. He brought basically everything that I expected him to bring. There was no outliers, I don't think. Chandelure was the only one I was maybe thinking he might bring, but he did not bring that either. So this is basically exactly what my prep told me. I'm going to put this speed to a little bit slower so I can talk over as we go. I see this team, and I've been leading Gardevoir into stuff like this, because Gardevoir with Hyper Voice is just really, really strong, and I have other counters for everything else. And I don't predict him to lead Ogerpon at all. Actually, I can probably go this a little bit faster. So obviously, Meloetta is the Gardevoir check, and I don't want to get caught by Hyper Voice because it does a surprising amount, because he can be max special attack if he wants to. So I go Chansey here. He uses Toxic, which shows me he's not Assault Vest, but he could still be Spadef, so he could still take stuff. And then obviously I get to teleport right back into Gardevoir here, keep my momentum up, right back into my damage, right? This is something I explained to the team builder. I always want to be recycling back into my damage. These three here are the damage. These three here are just meant to catch all into the damage. Gardevoir, I take a little sub here because I want to see if this guy can break my sub and what he's trying to do here. He does not have Hyper Voice, so he's not really blowing me up all that much. So I can keep getting free damage on Meloetta if I try. But he does knock off my Eviolite here as I try to recycle back in. And then he's going to go this Gliscor once again. I'm going to Gardevoir again. And I'm going to trade out. And I just barely don't kill. And so Gardevoir goes down, and I do think that was a little bit of a mistake. I do need Gardevoir out here. That was something I learned in the mocks, is that if I don't have Gardevoir, Gliscor gets really hard to break. So this Gliscor is obviously going to be a problem. I do have Banded Cinderace here to try to pressure him out. He goes Mantine, and Mantine obviously has that defense here, but he is exactly the set that I thought he would be. He's got that Toxic Whirlpool set, and I'm going to teleport here. So obviously, my game plan right here is that I need to keep Vikavolt alive for these two Pokemon in the back. I need to leverage my damage on Cinderace. That's going to be the only way to get through this game and to be able to break through. And I need to be able to break this Mantine in order to be able to break through the Gliscor. And I also need to not let the Gliscor heal too much. But every time he gets to go into Gliscor, he's going to be Toxic healing. And then he's protecting, so he's getting all this damage back. So this is a really hard spot for me to be in, and I need to be really patient and make specific plays in order to do everything. I also can't lose Pyro Balls. I've only got 4 left. So this is a really tough spot the Shadow's got me in here, my week 1 opponent. And we can see here, eventually I get tired of, that same play because I don't want him to keep protecting on me. So I'm going to go my Vikavolt here. I get an Iron Defense up. And right here, I should just hit normal Terra Blast. I should just blow him up, etc. But for some reason, I Terra. And then what did I say in the team builder? I had said, if I Terra, things can get really bad, right? Well, we're going to see why that could maybe get bad. The game's not out of reach yet, but I do, obviously things can get bad here. I'm going to keep trying to leverage my Cinderace. I'm running out of Pyro Balls, though. I've only got 3, but I do get that Mantine burn. Not the Toxic, but it is the burn. Goes Hydreigon. Now I've only got 2 Pyro Balls left now. He is going to be switching, or no, he's not going to. He switches out of that Hydreigon, actually. He goes out. I'm pretty sure he is that Superpower Hydreigon. I do get a teleport out into Ogerpon. Right now, we're just playing a really complex switching game right now. A lot of these turns are him just trying to minimize my Cinderace damage and allow him to keep leveraging everything else he's got. That Meloetta, I don't have a good way to break it because I don't have my Gardevoir down too. Once again, letting that die was really tough. He lets his Mantine go. I U-turn. I want to keep my Pyro Balls up. I want to be able to kill this naturally. But that might have been a mistake because now he can Roost. and you can tell I'm kind of losing my defense here. And everything happened because I stopped being able to recycle into my damage. Once I lost my damage, the defense fell apart. And I obviously don't have any hazards here either. I could not fit my hazards this time around. I needed to keep my hazards off of my side. Avalugg probably would have been a lot better if I had got it in. Maybe into Gliscor and hit some avalanches here. Maybe that would have been better. Hit the Terra Blast. He does hit the Draco here. And then he goes and then he goes right into Zamazenta. I did need to heal uh oh no, he Draco when he Dracos, he gets the he does the eject pack, which tells me he is going to be superpower too. He did have superpower because he could eject pack out of that too. But then he goes Zamazenta. I go Vikavolt because I can't lose Chansey in this matchup. But then obviously he gets the Iron D, and then because I'm not a bug type, I don't resist it, so I can't get my Iron defense up in time. And obviously that's the reason why I couldn't Terra. And with that, you could probably imagine Zamazenta just goes off. Basically, just Alamamola can't heal up enough with Regenerator, and Body Press goes. So I was not able to fully show off my ideals for this week. However, I do think that I did show off one thing, which is that you always need to have a game plan. You need to follow it through, and you can't neglect the things that you remember. This is the importance of writing notes. This is the importance of keeping things down. Got 6-0 in the first week. I really wanted to show off, a really like a better showing here, but I didn't keep my damage alive. I didn't, stick to my Vikavolt game plan. I didn't stick to that backup plan. So I just, I got pressured out by a good opponent. He brought what I expected him to bring, and I still got, caught out. And that's the strength of having, good opponents who have good ideals. It doesn't matter how much you know; it matters how well you play. So next week I'm going to try to bring it back better for you guys. But yeah, this has been that week one. So I hope you guys still have faith in me. I promise that Gardevoir and Cinderace, I'm gonna prove their power and their worth, and Vikavolt too. I definitely did Vikavolt dirty this week. So all right, let me know how it is.